Johannesburg. Thousands of delegates are expected to be at the conference. Ayanda Mhlongo is our SABC News reporter who is there this morning. Very good morning to you once again, Ayanda. Now, do we have any indication of what the morning session will look like when the official program does kick off?
Good morning to you once again, and to our viewers, a very good morning to you as well. Well, the program is supposed to start at around just after 9 o'clock, and I think today the most important part of today's program will be the speech by the president of the ANC, the outgoing president of the ANC, Jacob Zuma. That is a speech that I think thousands of delegates in South Africa will be eagerly awaiting to hear what the president's message is going to be as he leaves the office of the ANC as the president of the ANC. Certainly here it's still pretty quiet. People are trickling in. So far the delegates, though, have not arrived, and those are the very, very important people here who are at this conference. They have not yet arrived. To understand that registration took way into the night, finishing off in the early hours of this morning. So delegates had to refresh a bit and will then be making their way here to NASREC. It's the all-important conference of the ANC. Some say today is, or this next couple of weeks has to be the turning point for the ANC. Now, we're of course in Gauteng, and it's only then fair that we start and also then speak to the hosts of this very important conference of the ANC. And joining me now is the chairperson of the ANC here in Gauteng, Mr. Paul Mashatile. Chairperson, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Ayanda. Good morning to the listeners.
We're just talking about registration finishing very late this morning. Of course, now yourselves as the host province, are you ready, excited? This is the day that the ANC has been eagerly awaiting for.
Yes, we are very delighted as Gauteng to be hosting this important conference of the ANC. We are aware that all provinces have now arrived. All of them were registering yesterday. Of course, as the host, we decided to give everybody a chance, so we were like the last to register, early hours. But I think it's all systems go now, and we want to take this opportunity to welcome all the delegates from all over the country. This is a very important conference, and we're excited that it is being hosted here in Gauteng.
Chair, speaking about this important conference, one of the message that has been spread by the leaders of the ANC, there's been discussions with yourself as well, has been the message of unity. That is the ultimate goal of the ANC leaders, that coming out of this conference, the ANC needs to come out a unified organization. Now, your province hasn't had a number of issues, the court challenges that are now facing the party, like the rest of your fellow provinces. But how important what is your thought on these court cases, and also the importance of unity at the end of this conference?
Well, the message of unity has been well spread. All of us as leaders have been talking about that, and I think delegates have got that message now. So when they go out to participate, particularly in electing leaders, they will be taking that into account. Of course, you know that as leaders, we have also tried to come up with consensus, engaging. But we always said if there's contestation, it's fine, because ANC is a democratic organization. It's just that it must be of comradeship. We are aware about court cases in other provinces. Obviously, the biggest always to ensure that we tighten up the procedures, because often the fights come from those things where some branches are not happy about their representation and so on, and these things tend to end up in court. We hope, of course, that the NEC will ensure that these issues are resolved.
And speaking about procedures, it's going to be very important as well for this conference that everything is run according to rules, so that it find itself where, again, someone will want to come and then challenge this conference?
Yes, of course. That's why what we do for conferences like this, we do what we call pre-registration. So once branches have gone through BGMs, those delegates are registered. But beyond that, there's what we call verification to ensure that indeed these are the delegates that were elected at those BGMs and so on. So you have to ensure that, because when conference starts, we look at those credentials to ensure that those credentials are correct. Because often conferences collapse if the wrong people are at conference. So you must always ensure that these are the right delegates that were elected by their branches and nobody has been changed. So that's why even registration takes long, because they have to verify all these things. As we speak now, a lot of that has been done by last night, and hopefully there shouldn't be a lot of glitches.
Chair, a lot of the focus has been, of course, on the preparations for today, as well as the contestation. I think that has dominated discussions. But equally important, this conference is about programs of the ANC. It's about the policies of the ANC. Now, Gauteng, the proposals that you are bringing into the table, I know it's very important. Radical economic transformation is what the ANC has been speaking about. Matters of land, education as well. Those has been the issues that the ANC said they need to be discussions around and policies going forward, so to improve the lives of the people of this country.
Yes, indeed, you'll recall that during the policy conference in July, there were a lot of debates on these issues, the issues of whether you expropriate land without compensation. Our view in Gauteng was that well, there's really no need to amend the Constitution. The Constitution does give us the right to expropriate land, and where you don't have to compensate, you don't have to do that. So I don't think there should be too much debate on semantics. I think it's a question of how do we do it. Radical economic transformation, we all agree that there's a need to fundamentally transform the economy of this country, to be able to create jobs, to address high levels of unemployment, address poverty, and so on. So I think in this conference we will find one another. I know there were a lot of debates in July about white monopoly capital or monopoly capital, and our view in Gauteng has always been, well, monopoly capital is monopoly capital, deal with it and sort it out. So we'll have a festival of ideas, but at the end of the day, South Africans want resolutions. They want to see program of action.
All right, Chair, I'm going to have to leave you there. Thank you very much for your time. The chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, Mr. Paul Mashatile. We're going to leave things here for now. We're going to go for a quick ad break. Do stay with us.